Okay, I think we're ready to kick things off. So welcome and thanks for joining. This is Quantitative Techniques. I'm your lecturer, Daryl Mudley. Yeah, nice to meet all of you. We're going to be hearing from each other quite a lot during the semester, and I look forward to helping you not just pass this course, but learn something that's interesting and hopefully something you can apply in your work or even in your personal life. And yes, there are some of this content that you actually can apply, outside of work. But we'll get to that. So yeah, I'm recording this session, so I will make it available, make the recording available. You can watch it again, and for those students that haven't managed to join, you can watch the recording. I should post it by tomorrow, and I will post an announcement. So tonight's session, we're not really going to go through content, and I'm not really going to go do the whole whiteboard and talk you through the content for different learning units and doing the calculations with you tonight. This is the only night where I'm not going to be doing that. But every other night after this, so every session on Wednesday, we will be doing that. I'll be walking you through problems, exercises, the calculations to understand the material. So I encourage you to, ask questions, engage. It's not just a one-way thing. So if you're not understanding anything, please do not be afraid to unmute and ask away. Or even if you're feeling shy to ask, just drop a message in the chat and I will get to it. But yeah, the last thing I want is for me to, for you to be lost at some point, and then I'm just continuing from there, and then before you know it, I'm like really far down the path, and you're stuck at like a timeline quite far back. So please ask away, right? I encourage that, and there's no such thing. There's no such a thing as a stupid question. All right. So what can I tell you about this course? Okay, so let me share my screen, help you find your way to content material. I'm just going to share my screen. Just give me a second. Yeah, just allowing Chrome to share my screen. All right, so I'm gonna share my entire screen. Sorry, people. Sorry, I'm having technical issues all of a sudden when I wasn't having that yesterday. I do apologize. Okay, let me just try and share this. Okay, so I'm sharing ARC, and if you can't see it, please let me know. Actually, just give me a thumbs up if you can. I'm gonna go back to the chat. Could you see ARC when I show it to you? Mark, are you raising your hand or you give me a thumbs up? Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. I'll go back to ARC. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Okay, when you go into ARC, on the left, you'll be presented with all of these tabs. All right, so let's start from the first one, which is module information. So here, you got your introduction. All right, you can read through this. It's to give you an overview of what this course is about. All right, so it's a quick read. I encourage you to go through that. Prescribed work, self-explanatory. Everyone should have this textbook. If you have the 4th edition, that should be fine. But just keep in mind, when I give exercises, the page numbers I'm going to be referring to is the 5th edition. The page numbers won't be the same for the 4th edition. I'm going to have to leave it to you to find which exercise I'm talking about. All right. So if you can, everyone, please get the 5th edition. Okay, that's the textbook you need to have. All right, so that's your textbook. Module overview. Yeah, go to this slideshow. Kind of it gives you like a what do you call it? The real world kind of application of this. All right, so the recommended readings. Okay, you can go through this. The textbook should be fine. If you really want to do extra reading, yeah, go for it. Going to admit some students in. All right. Now, module pacer. Now, this is where you need to kind of check in to see that you're, on par with the content and you're following it at the pace you need to be following for the given week. If this actually loads, it loaded a second ago. I don't know what's happening now. Just give me a second. I have no idea why it's not. Oh, forget that one. Let's go to this one. Okay, so forget the one above. Just go straight down to below this where it says QUAT6221 W PACER 2026. All right. I'm not sure why this one's working. I'm just going to hide it after this session. All right. So here, when you click here, here's your PACER. So it tells you week 1. That's your on the left margin. It's just an introductory session, and what you're expected for learning it 1 is to actually just read through the content. It's purely theoretical. There's no calculations, which is why it's left to you to kind of read through it and understand it. But with that being said, if you are not sure about anything, if something isn't clear to you when you're reading through the content or learning it 1, please, that's what I'm here for. So drop me an email and tell me exactly what you're not sure about, what doesn't make sense to you. Okay, you got to tell me what you're having problems with for me to help you, and I will assist. Right, so please do that. So that's our first learning, our first week. That's what you're expected to do for learning it 1. As it says, just student action, read through learning unit as it is purely theory based. All right. And then after that, from next week onwards, it's going to be me taking you through the content, doing calculations over the whiteboard, and showing you how to solve these problems. Okay. The next tab is your module outline. Download this file. You might not be able to open it on Arc, so just download it and open it on your desktop. But students should be able to access module outlines for themselves, and I've even provided a guide below here. If you see here, accessing module outlines and paths. So if you want to get the module outline and the paths yourself, I do encourage you to do that. The module outline is unlikely going to change, but your paths does change. So I have your paths here, but this is the most recent copy that I have. It will very likely change. Okay, so you are encouraged to access it yourself on a weekly basis if you can. Don't leave it for more than 2 weeks, okay? Because they do make changes to it. So access your paths on a weekly basis if you can. If not, at most 2 weeks. Okay, every 2 weeks. This, if you click here, it shows you exactly how to access it. You can get your module outline and you can get your paths. It's a how-to guide here. Okay, you can follow that. Then we've got a tab that says QUAT6221 WB. That is your workbook. Okay, now if you click here, this is it's a great revision tool. It's got a lot of exercises, and I'm actually going to point you to some of these exercises for revision. So after I cover a learning unit in a synchronous session, I may point you to some problems either here or in your textbook to walk through to help you consolidate your understanding. All right, so download this. It's a PDF file. You can just download it, or you can look at it on the platform. It's up to you. But there's revision exercises for all your learning units. All right, and then the last tab under module information is synchronous sessions. So if you're not sure about the link to join the session, but I'm assuming everyone's okay because you are in the session now. But if you're not sure in the future, here's the link, right? You click here, this will take you to the Microsoft Teams session that we have now, right? This is the link to your weekly session. And it's in this tab that I will place all the recordings for the session as well in a table. There aren't any recordings now because this is the first session, right? But as we progress, I'll start making them available here. All right, so for Learning is 1, okay, just before I continue, right? So remember you should have your textbook, okay? Have your module outline, have your workbook, have your PAS, and have your PACER, all right? Then calculator. So I'm going to show you the calculator I prefer that you get, all right? Because this is the one I have. It is the most user-friendly, okay? So when I'm walking you through how to use the statistics function, I'll be talking you through the Casio calculator. If you have a Sharp calculator, I won't be able to assist you because I don't have that one, all right? So you can have it, but you're just gonna have to operate the statistics functions in your own. All right, so try and get this calculator. I just went to any site, to be honest. I don't know what the average price is. I'm not sure whether this is the going price for it, but you can shop around, okay? But this is the calculator you want, okay? Casio FX82ZA. There are other models, but essentially these are the functions that you want, okay? You want the statistics functions, your exponential functions, whatever you see on this image, these are the buttons basically you should have on your Casio calculator because we're going to be using it. All right, so make sure you have your calculator and have that before our session next week because we are going to start using it. All right. Okay, so back to ARC. And before I continue, let me just check if does anyone have any questions before I just continue. Let me just check the chat. Hey, yes, hello.
The calculator didn't show on the screen on my side.
It didn't. Okay, let me just. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a screenshot and I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for letting me know. Give me a second. Okay, it's not letting me drag and drop it. Okay, so let me just try something else. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, this should work. Can everyone see it now? If you want, please take a screenshot of it. Assuming you can. So I'll give you about 10 seconds, or let's say 15. If you want, take a screenshot of this. And yeah, so you know this is the calculator you should try and get. Okay, everyone got that? Anyone not sure about the calculator? Just give me a thumbs up if you're all good. You're happy, you could see what I was showing. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Just let me know otherwise, okay? I can always just email you the screenshot. And let me put my email address here in the chat as well. You can reach out to me. Need to. All right. Okay. Now let me just show you the content for Learning in 1, the resources that you can use. All right, so back to ARC. So I showed you module information. Now if you move over to the next tab, Yeah, Learning Unit 1. Now you can see pretty much for every learning unit, I've made my resources available as well. And then there's the other tabs have what is preloaded on this page by the college. Okay, so under lecture resources, if you expand that, you'll see I've created a page that kind of gives you an overview of the content for Learning Unit 1. It's not extensive, right? So the some of the themes that I've covered, it's not everything for Learning Unit 1. Okay, it's kind of a brief summary on some of the important stuff. All right. So I'm not saying use only my material. You need to use the material I sent and the textbook, right? If I tell you to rank them, I would say textbook first and then my material. All right. That's what you need to go for. But in every learning unit, I've shown you the required readings for the textbook. Okay, so if you look at here for learning one, your required reading that's shown by this tab. Read through chapter 1, that's everything. Then you do need to read chapter 6, but specifically these pages. All right, and once you finish that, then you can move over to the next tab and kind of give you an example that's an addition to what's in the textbook that could help your understanding. Right, so you're welcome to use this as well. All right, once you've done that, then move over to the last tab. Make sure you finish all these tabs if you are going to make use of my resources, and read through that. And if you're not sure of what it's trying to tell you, contact me. But pretty much this is what you'll find for every learning unit. And yeah, you can follow that kind of flow. And then obviously I'm going to be covering this content in the synchronous session as well. As you can see, there's no ICE task as yet. It's coming soon. I will make the 4 ICE tasks available soon. The due date for ICE tasks is 3rd of May. I will obviously send an announcement for that. So if you want to write it down now, you can, but otherwise just wait for my announcement. I'll post the deadline for the ICE tasks, and I'll also make it known when they are available and give you the links to complete them. All right. And then the next tab, these are lecture styled notes, so lecture slides. If you do want to use them, it's really up to you. I would rather give you extra than less information. So if you want to go to this, please, you're welcome to. Yeah, it's there just so you know if you want to use it. And then there are the content from the college itself. All right. So if you click here, theme 1, there's a whole bunch of it. I encourage you to go through it as well. All right. So like I said, learning in 1 is pretty much theory. There's really good resources here under the Learning in 1 tab. There's even exercises and activities you can do, which I encourage you to do to kind of consolidate your understanding. And in addition to that, remember you have your workbook. Once you've covered the content, you can go through your workbook, go to that specific learning unit and start walking through the problems. So if you want my recommendation on how to kind of, ensure that you'll pass this course, stick to the pacer, make sure you cover the required content, right? All the content is always on ARC. It's in your textbook and it's on ARC. Go through it like how I told you to go through for Learning in 1. Once you finish all of that, right, then go back to the workbook and work through problems. All right, so here it is your workbook. Go to Learning in 1 and work through the activities and the revision exercises. And if you're comfortable with that, then great. You know what? You can move on to the next one. This will really, really help you understand the content and, pass this course. All right, so stick to that to plan, if I could say. All right. I think I've said a lot tonight. What else? Does anyone have any questions? Let me stop here. I think I've overloaded you with quite a lot of info, but please ask away. Tegan.
Hi, yeah, I just have a question. So for those of us who are working off of the 6th edition of the book, when you state pages 171 to 176, that's obviously going to be incorrect. So are you able to maybe assist us with what like headline we should be looking for, or what I need to be looking for so I'm reading the correct pages because I'm on the 6th edition?
You're on the 6th. Okay. All right. So you know what? Because the Oxel says, good point, and thank you for pointing that out. So Oxel says, I think it says 5th edition. Okay, so that needs to change. All right. So what I'll do is, whenever I post anything with regards to a textbook, I will post it to, since I've got the 5th edition, I will do both the 5th and the 6th. I'll just get a 6th edition from the library. So, and since I've already got 5th, I'll just do both.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay. When will assignment 1 be available to download? Lenka, I'm not really sure. Just keep checking the portal. I'm not really notified when the assignments are out for download, unfortunately. But if I do get notified or get any information from faculty, I will let you know. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I'm not setting the assignment, so I don't really know when that would be. No problem. Okay, I'm hoping no one's like feeling intimidated by this course at all, and you're feeling excited to kind of to go through this. It really isn't. If I can give you advice, it's not a course you want to do cram last minute. Okay, it's not something you want to leave for just before the exam and the assignment. This is something you got to understand the content, because you're solving problems. Okay, you just need to really grasp the method, and if you do that, then you could solve pretty much any of the problems, because no problems are the same. Like if you look at last year's paper and that paper 2 years ago, you know, it's the same kind of question, but you know, the quantities are different, which is what makes them different. So it's really important that you understand the methodology behind it. So just work consistently. Please don't leave things for last minute. Okay. If there aren't any questions, you can stay behind to ask questions. Otherwise, that is it for this evening. This will probably be the shortest synchronous session. Yeah, as I said, I won't be covering the concept for learning it. One, it's basically reading the theory. But from next week, we are going to be doing the very hands-on calculations. And we're going to kick off with learning unit 2. All right. Thank you for joining. And I will make the recording available by tomorrow. Fallon, yeah, do you have a question? Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Hi there, it's Sholan.
Sholan, okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Regarding the calculator, if we did purchase a financial calculator, will it work?
Okay, so there's 2 things about that one, right? One, if it's the same, I can't guarantee you that it would work the same as the calculator that I showed you, right? That's one. 2, I'm also not sure that it would be allowed in, you know, if you're doing the sit-down exam. But the calculator I showed you is allowed.
Okay, no problem there. That's okay. I need to get a new calculator then.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't think there are any questions. But yeah, thanks everyone. And yeah, we'll chat soon. Please reach out to me by email if you want, if you have any questions. But have a good evening and chat soon.